René Descartes came out with this French philosopher and thinker and all this other stuff, and he came out with this famous line, "I think, therefore I am." Well, I would take it one stage further. I'd say, I compute, therefore I am, on this level, not on that level, on this level. Because electrochemical changes, even externally implanted, can change our personality dramatically. So, what is our personality? There was that lady, you come across the story a couple of years ago. She had been in clinical depression for 40 years. After 40 years, she'd been institutionalized and all this stuff. And then someone said to her, "Can you remember if anything happened around the time you went into this deep depression?" The only thing she could come up with was she had something like 19 mercury fillings. So she went and had the mercury fillings out, went on a mercury detox program, and after 40 years, her clinical, untreatable depression disappeared. Now, her personality for 40 years has been a manic depressive, but that wasn't her, it was a chemical process. So how can we identify with this as being us when it can be so changed by a simple chemical process? People like Paul McKenna, when he takes people, for people watching this DVD in other parts of the world, Paul McKenna is a guy who, at the start of a TV show, will have people who are frightened of spiders or frightened of heights or something. And at the end of the show, he'll bring them back and they'll either not be frightened anymore or be a lot less frightened. What is he doing? He's going into the computer program that says, "I am frightened of spiders, I am frightened of heights." He is wiping the computer program through various means which take out that character trait, which is nothing more than a piece of software, and suddenly the personality has changed. So if we identify with this as us, we're identifying with a programmed computer. And what the Illuminati want to do, and why they've structured society as they have, is to program the computer so A, we identify with it, and B, its program makes us react in the desired fashion. This is why the way out of here is going beyond the program. We see things not as they are, but as we are. It becomes more and more obvious. We are oneness, infinite consciousness, infinite awareness, but we are encouraged constantly to see ourselves in terms of division. And our reality is in our head when we think it's out here. Out here is just a mass of frequency fields and vibrational fields which we are interpreting and decoding as the reality that fits our belief, our programmed belief. What the human race is suffering from is mass hypnosis. We are being subjected to that hypnosis all the time to tell us what to believe is real. And I've seen people on stages, they smell things that aren't there. They see things that aren't there because the only place they exist is in their head, and if their head believes it, they will manifest that reality within it. And we talk about people waking up. Humanity's starting to wake up. Exactly what they're doing. They're waking up from the trance. We don't have to learn anything new. We are infinite. We have to remember what we have been manipulated to forget through the hypnotic trance that we're subjected to. And this is the wake up that's happening. We're waking up from the trance. The elephant in the living room. The reason people don't see the obvious, that is obvious to people who've started to wake up, hey, I can see it now, is because the program is telling them something different. The reason they can't see the obvious is the same reason that a computer will not do something you want it to do if it doesn't have the software downloaded to do it. And when we start to wake up, we start to see the obvious. My God, why couldn't I see it before? Because you were asleep. This is humanity. It's in an hypnotic trance, but it's waking up. And what the Illuminati are desperate to do in this Orwellian state they're trying to impose is to keep us, A, asleep, and if they can't keep us asleep, then keep us controlled when we're awake. Now, this is a wonderful book called The Holographic Universe by a guy called Michael Tolbert. And I'll get into the holographic stuff in a minute, because that's important. Why do we see things in 3D? Because that's what we create in our heads, but I'll get into it. But he tells a wonderful story in this book, which really sums up where I'm going here. He says that his father had a party at home, and he got a stage hypnotist along to do party tricks. He got people to do all the usual stuff, and eventually he's got this guy called Tom, and he's got him to do various things by implanting belief, which he then takes to be reality. And towards the end, he said to Tom, when I bring you out from to a waking state, you're not going to be able to see your daughter in the room. The same time, the hypnotist leads the daughter to stand in front of the guy, so he's looking in her belly. He then brings him out, and he says, can you see your daughter in the room? And he looks around, he says, no, she's not here. He's looking at her belly. The hypnotist went behind the daughter, and he put his hand in the small of her back and said to Tom, who's there on the other side, I'm holding something, Tom. What am I holding? Well, he was bemused because it was so obvious he's holding a watch. He says, there's an inscription on it. Can you read it? He leans forward. He reads